Here's one thing that aggravates me. So, I am always moved around my entire life. So as soon as someplace realizes, oh my God, Zachary knows what he's talking about, we should listen to him when it comes to him. So I finally get that with certain areas, or when the people get to know me, they finally realize, oh shit, okay, we better listen to Zach because things go better. When we listen to David, oh my God, everything falls apart. But it makes me want to cry. You have David spending his rent money. You got David not listening to the judges when they say hold on to money. We got David signing up for scams in the mail. We got David answering the phone and giving scammers his personal information. But then who does everybody think is the smart one who should get it, who should be in charge? David. And they treat me like shit. They're like, why did you let him? Well, why did you let David sign up for these? I have no control over him. Don't you remember? Christine Garber from the States said, David is fine. David is fine. And then the landlord came in going, go get Zach's money. Go steal Zach's money, David. David, 84 and senile, go into Zach's account and steal his money. Yes, I know I was supposed to, the landlord. And the landlord literally will try to avoid me for 3 days. The rent payment day will come up. I will call him and say, come pick up your rent. I'm home. He won't show up. Then I'll say, okay, I have to take a day off of work, Bob. So you gotta come here now and pick up your goddamn rent money. You're avoiding me. You need to pick it up. I'm losing money from work. And instead he avoids me again. Why? Because we have windows that are leaking. We got ceiling tiles that need to be repaired. There are things in this apartment like pipes that are leaking. Like the sink might be leaking in the back of it. So I gotta ask the landlord to send his maintenance because I already called maintenance and they say it's fixed. Meanwhile, it's not fucking fixed. So that's a problem that needs to be brought up with my landlord. So I call my landlord. I tell him that I got some repairs I got to discuss with him. Come pick up your rent from me and only me. Then he plays a game for 3 or 4 days. And then he'll show up when he knows I'm at work. How does my landlord know I'm at work? He comes by my work, the gas station, and looks in. And as soon as he sees me at work, once again, he will drive straight to my house, go upstairs to an 84-year-old that is senile, and then tell this 84-year-old senile man to go steal my money, go into my account, and go get my money. Go take my cards, instead of working it out with me so that we can get the lease signed or so we can get the window fixed, or no. Instead, he goes to a senile old man. But then, when it comes time for the courts or for welfare to understand the bullshit that's going on here, like for instance, why has welfare not given me payments this time to give to the landlord? Because the paperwork has not been filed by the landlord. The landlord says I have never given him the blue piece of paper to fill out. He continues to play this game. How many blue papers have I given him now? 4. 4! And he says he never got one. He got one during the discovery. He got one at the end of court. He got one in the mailbox. And he got one mailed to him directly to his home. Or, sorry, directly to his business. He has got plenty. Have I called him to give him more? Absolutely. But what does the courts think about that? The landlord has said that I have made no attempt to give him the blue piece of paper. Like I don't want a pile of money. Of course I want money. Of course I don't want to have to shell this out in cash. Every time welfare doesn't pay this man, he starts attacking me for cash. Even though, did I do anything wrong? No. I got the pink one that was mine to fill out filled out. I got all mine filled out. I got the doctor one filled out. I got the pink one filled out. I got the white one filled out. So which one is the problem. Why am I not collecting my welfare? Because the landlord continues to take the blue paper I give him, crumple it up into a ball, throw it in a trash can, and then tell the judge he never got the blue piece of paper. And he's done this 4 separate fucking times. I have given him blue paper after blue paper after blue paper after blue paper from welfare. The landlord is aware that he can get a welfare payment anytime he wants, but he also was aware that tenants are trying to hand him cash and he's refusing to take his rent. It's a scam when he wants people out. Okay, so he tells you if you make a complaint to code enforcement, he will punch you and evict you. He's been making that threat for 6 years. He makes that threat with all the younger neighbors and older neighbors. He's made this threat with upstairs, downstairs, and us. Not the new downstairs neighbors. Remember, they keep on shifting every year. They don't want to put up with this landlord shit. I'm about to break his fucking neck, cut off his toes, and then leave him for the birds in the woods to eat. I'm not fucking kidding. I'm this close to losing my fucking mind with these games. Anybody willing to lie under oath in a courtroom, making a kid go nuts, who's already been driven nuts. You're lying, you're manipulating, you're lying, you're manipulating. But then what does the judge do? He turns to me and he calls me a liar. No, you never gave this landlord the blue paper. Yes, I did. Don't argue with me. The landlord says you never gave it to him, so you must have not given it to him. So give it to him already. So I do. I give it to him right in the end of courtroom. I also mail him another copy, and I put one in his box, the mail drop-off box outside. So I gave him now 3 additional copies. Now the judge is still like, why hasn't he got any welfare payments? Why hasn't Bob got any welfare payments? Because Bob refuses to fill out any paperwork to get the welfare payments. I've already filled out all the paperwork, sent it in. All welfare needed was a fucking blue piece of paper signed by my landlord. My landlord is refusing to go with the program. Well, how about the rent payments that he worked up upstairs? Upstairs went to bring Bob to court for bed bugs. What happened to them? Bob refused to take their rent money and then went to the courtroom lying under oath, claiming that my upstairs neighbors refused to give him the rent money. And he played the same game with me. He played the same game with other neighbors. He has done this several times. The landlord causes problems, like not signing the blue paper or refusing to take the rent money, and then he goes into the courtroom saying that we're lazy, that we're a bum. And I've already got enough of that from my fucking family. I got enough people dragging my fucking name through the mud. The landlord refused to sign the papers. I brought him several fucking copies. The landlord has refused to take the rent when we tried to hand it to him. The landlord has refused to spray and remove bugs. The landlord has refused to maintain the outside of his apartment, allowing water to leak in his apartment. Mold is growing in the carpet from the water leaking down. Mold is growing everywhere in this fucking apartment. We got water damaging our property, and the reason why welfare has not paid the landlord is the landlord refuses to fill out the blue paperwork. And as far as the discovery goes, the landlord was handed everything during the discovery. That's why right after the discovery, he started removing evidence off of the building before the courts could send somebody over to take a look, because he had now pictures and videos to look at the building. So he got everything during the discovery, everything in paper. Every picture was dated, signed to a T, but I got nothing back. The landlord absolutely gave me nothing. And then he played a trick getting signatures saying that he gave me something. Yes, he took advantage of the disabled 84-year-old to get signatures saying that he completed, and then they played with an 84-year-old, having him stand up and shake like that, like they're allowed to tell him what to do. Not only that, they lied and said some little girl was a lawyer, and then they go in court and say that she's not a lawyer. So 1 minute they're claiming that this woman's a lawyer, and then the next minute they're claiming she's not a lawyer. So we got the landlord lying through his teeth left and right. But then I am the one who nobody understands. Because when I say it's a game the landlord is playing, nobody wants to understand what game he's playing. Instead, they just take his word for gospel. When the landlord says, oh no, all my tenants are just refusing to pay me, that's the real issue here. Just evict them already. Every time we try to bring anything to code enforcement, he does a speed eviction. And the way he does it is he refuses to take your rent, and then he tells the courts you never paid him. Now, I was trying to withhold my rent, and he knew this. He knew I was filing with code enforcement to withhold my rent. And I had rent money for him in my fucking hand. I had to work it out with my roommate. I only had $350, but my roommate had the extra 100. So we were paying the rent and we were getting ready to withhold it and get a court order to do so. But the landlord knew that this was the next step. So instead, you know what the landlord did? He went straight to hitting me and beating on his tenants. Yes, I need to kill this motherfucker. Somebody needs to fucking teach this motherfucker a lesson. And if the courts think that a slap on the wrist is going to be enough to make this guy snap to and stop lying under oath, that's a mistake. But see, the judge, he buys all these stories. And then, you know what else they do? They get a bunch of storytellers outside the make-up stories. And that's what's making me mad. One false story. If I have to hear one made-up story when there's already 112, if I have to hear one motherfucker play a game with my name, I'm cutting them into fucking pieces. I don't care. If you're outside my window playing a fucking game, pretending to be me, using my name, dragging it through the mud, just like my mother and father did, the same reason why I can't get medical care, the reason why I can't get medical care right now, I need it today, this morning. I need the doctors to do their fucking jobs. But the reason why I can't is because other people dragged my name through the fucking mud saying that I make up fucking stories at the doctors. Now, have I ever done that? No, never in my life have I ever made up a story at the doctors. But my mother and father have done ridiculous shit to me, and I've had a ridiculous life. Like I lived in 4 different states from the age of 5 to 12. So if you add in all this fucking shit in my life, yeah, it's hard to understand. But that's the fucking problem. The judge, it's his job to judge me and judge the landlord. So he needs to understand the fucking situation. He needs to understand that it's the landlord who has shown me nothing. I have seen nothing from him. I've seen nothing of his stories. What stories is he filing? He doesn't want me to see because he knows I'll come to his fucking house and beat him half to death. And if he thinks, oh, well, I'll have you arrested. Well, guess what? You can have me arrested all you want. But you gotta set up a camera and get me fucking caught on camera just like I did to you. You fucking beat on me, you're caught on camera, and Rochester doesn't want to do a fucking thing. So if I swing by Maine after living in Florida, wearing a mask, and I cut you into fucking little pieces, chopping off your toes and soldering it shut with a hot iron that I left on a fire, don't be fucking surprised when you can't track my ass down, or when I'm hanging from a tree dead. Because this shit is over the top crazy. I should not have to hear my name be slandered in a courtroom. I especially shouldn't be hearing Jeremy Munger make threats against me in the courtroom. I have never seen a kangaroo court where before court somebody can threaten your life. After court, in the courtroom, as you leave, they can threaten your life. And that the landlord is allowed to withhold discovery paperwork and then play a game with a disabled man to get a signature. On top of that, after he plays a game and the landlord gets everything, so the landlord has seen every picture in the case, the landlord has every video, he has every piece of paper, he even has the assault charges, the landlord has everything. But what did he give me? Nothing. He held up a USB stick and then said, oh, I guess I don't have to give it to you then. But I had a USB stick too, and he said, oh, I can't take it. So what did I do? I gave him a USB-C into his phone, and I gave him hard copies on paper, and I printed out the photographs on the hard copies that he could keep. So I completed. I gave him photocopies, I gave him USB-C, and I gave him USB, completing my half of the discovery. Then he said, well, you got to sign this, that this states that you gave me these papers. And I signed it. You know what he really had me sign? He really had me sign that he gave me everything. What he didn't do, he refused to give me anything on the case. He did not complete the fucking discovery. But yet, when we went into court, this is the landlord's argument. Instead, he goes, Zach didn't complete the discovery. I go, what? What do you mean? You're the one who didn't give me anything. He goes, yeah, but I got your signature. I go, what the fuck? You lied to me under oath? You continue to lie and lie under oath? You continue to lie and lie under oath? You continue to manipulate the court system? You continue to get false statements from random people you pay? You continue to hire goons under the table, pay them under the table, and then have them fill out paperwork? You continue to use Mark Harrington's moving company to write you letters that say your tenants are bringing in furniture that might be infested with bed bugs? How the fuck would Mark Harrington know what furniture Dave picked up or not? Mark Harrington doesn't even work at those places. Most of the time he's in Colorado or vacationing. He does this stuff over the phone. He doesn't inspect the fucking furniture. You think Mark Harrington lifts the furniture? No. He pays a salary to people who just got out of prison to do it for him. And this is the guy that the landlord is friends with, Mark Harrington. Wait a minute. Who put David up here in New Hampshire in the first place? When David was in Lowell and he needed a place to stay, oh, that's right, Mark Harrington stuck him up here with another guy and then let everything default. Yep, Mark Harrington did not help him pay the bills. When all the debts racked up and David was in trouble and Mark Harrington got him in trouble in the first place, it was me, Zachary, who got a phone call to save the day and keep bailing David out. And then what does the landlord and Mark Harrington do? They continue to use us. They continue to literally beat on us. They continue to make threats to us. They continue to let our property go in disrepair from the outside out. They continue to let bugs eat us alive. They continue to let water damage our property. They continue to let fixtures and ceiling tiles fall on our heads because they haven't fixed a leaky pipe in 6 years. They say they fixed it. They'll tell the courts they fixed it 8 times. But all they really did was throw in a tile. They just put some spit and grease over the fucking leak. Then the leak moves down a couple inches. Go fuck yourselves and your bullshit. Where is the honesty? But guess what? The courts are gonna take it out on me. Every time the landlord lies and calls me a liar, my family already got there first. My father and mother already played this game with me. So a landlord playing it, he's going to win absolutely now. And it's going to drive me over the edge. It's going to drive me mentally ill. I can't take any more made-up stories causing harm to my body. I can't take any more. I can't take any more bullshit. If the landlord wants to slander me in court, I want to see some proof. I don't want a manipulation. And then when I get an attorney, they fucking let the senile old man go nuts so we can't have an attorney. It's driving me fucking bonkers. I'm going to kill somebody if this continues. All I need is to be treated like a human being. But if I am going to have my name slandered, if I'm going to go to court and I'm going to hear, I'm going to fuck you up. As soon as we get out of here, I'm going to fucking kill you. Hey, judge. Yeah, he's lazy and he doesn't want to do the welfare. If I have to hear this shit over and over and then I don't even get a chance to defend myself or speak, if I have to hear a young kid in his like the same age as me, maybe 32, making verbal threats that he's going to kill me after court in the courtroom. I'm sitting in the courtroom, in my courtroom chair, and I got a Jeremy Munger punk making threats against me on multiple occasions in the courtroom. Then I got the landlord slandering me, calling me lazy because he is the one who refused to fill out the blue paper. See, there's a white paper, a pink paper, and a blue paper. I have to fill out the white paper. I got to bring the pink paper to my doctor, then bring it back. and then I got to drop off the blue paper with my landlord. Now, I've dropped off several copies with my landlord, and he's refusing to fill it out. The landlord has refused to fill out the blue paperwork necessary for getting welfare payments. But see, he wants to confuse the courts and make me out to be lazy. So instead, he tells the courtroom that I am refusing to give him welfare and I'm refusing to give him rent. Meanwhile, we have it on camera that I was trying to give him the rent money while giving paperwork that allows me to withhold the next month's rent after that, and instead he throws me to a door and starts beating on me. So what does the courts have to say about the video on that? They didn't look at it. They said because the video belongs to an assault case on October 23rd, they don't want to see me trying to hand my rent over. And it's in 3 different pieces too. So you have beginning, middle, end. You can look at any part. And you see me trying to hand something on rent day. And then 3 days after this assault is when he actually files for the eviction to say I refuse to pay my rent. Well, why not come and pick up the rent money again? Huh? What the fuck? No, instead, now he wants things to get so out of control that I'm just wasted so much money on this court bullshit. He's draining us financially, and he's draining us physically, and he's draining me mentally. I can't take any more of this abuse. I can't take any more of people slandering my name. I just can't take it. Why is my name allowed to be slandered repeatedly over a 25-year period? I mean, at 5 years old, when I won a medal, let's say I came in first in swim class in the orphanage. You know what would happen to me? I would be slandered and my name would be ran through the mud. I'm not kidding. While other kids, if you won a swimming medal, let's say the orphanage brought you to the YMCA, and whoever treaded water the longest at 5 years old got a brass medal. And that was me. I came in first, I won the brass medal. You know what would happen to me? My mother and father would get me medicated, say that my name is slandered and that I do all these awful things. They'll take my swimming medal away from me, say I must be stealing it from African Americans because they're athletic. Then they're going to call me a liar and a thief. And then after I cry for 2 weeks wanting my medal back, they'll bring me to the doctor's office, getting me over-medicated to shut me up. Hey, he's crying too much. He's too upset now. We took his medal away, and now he's all upset. Can't you give him some pills to shut him up already? And then they'll make up a story about my medal being that I stole it off of African American. Oh, and the reason, and my name's on the back of it, remember. I won this medal, so of course my name's on the back of it. But my mother turns the medal around and goes, see Zach's old last name on this? He's out to get me. He's out to get me. So they'll run my name through the mud. Then they'll run my name through the mud some more. Then they'll run my name through the mud some more. Then they'll run my name through the mud some more. Then they'll run my name through the mud some more. Then they'll slander me some more. Then they'll make up some more stories about me. Then they'll try to avoid more responsibility. Then they'll make up more lies to cover up their crimes. Then they'll make up more stories because they don't want the family to know why I'm really coming home at 19. Then they'll make up more stories to cover up what they're doing in Social Security. Oh, now they got caught with Social Security, so they're going to make up more stories about me and run my name more through the mud. And we're only at the age of 22. So now I'm age 32. And I have a landlord who is obviously lying to try to save money. He does not want to maintain his property. So he played this game with my upstairs neighbors 3 years ago. My upstairs neighbors wanted the bed bugs removed. So they brought him to court. The only problem was, before they even got it to the bed bugs to court, they already were evicted. Why? Because as soon as you file with code enforcement, the landlord does a speed eviction. He claims to the court that you refuse to pay him. As soon as he gets anything, and you have to notify the landlord that you complain to code enforcement. He is always evicting any complainers. The way he does it, too, is he just refuses to take your rent money. That's it. Then he files a bunch of lies with the court. He just lies under oath. That's how he gets away with it. He just lies and says he was never paid, and then you're out 30 days later. And he does this with everybody. Not just me, not just upstairs, no, he's done these tricks in court several times, and the judge allows him to get away with this behavior. The problem is Rochester is corrupt, and we have a kangaroo court system that allows a landlord to beat on tenants, make up stories, and then they just buy it. And then the landlord just has to call us shithead names and slander us. Oh, upstairs is a sex offender. Yeah, that kid up there, he's a sex offender. That's what it is. Oh, and that other guy, he's just lazy. Yeah, that guy's lazy. Oh, and that Zach, he's lazy too. Yeah. And he refused to give me my rent. Yeah. And all those damages, they're just out to get me. Yeah. Because the judge asked, why are you guys filing for all these bed bugs and all this? I said, we were already filing. The landlord jumped in to file for an eviction. We were already in the process for the last 3 years filing for the bed bugs in the windows. This is nothing new. We've been filing and trying to get this in for 3 years. But the landlord saw that it was finally going in right. They were the courts and the code enforcement were about to actually let us be heard. So the landlord rushed through his bullshit eviction like he did with the upstairs neighbors. And then the judge will go, well, we don't want to hear about any other cases. We only want to hear about your case. Yeah, but this has already happened like 8 times. And each case, they've said the same thing. In each and every case, we always say the same thing. The landlord is lying to the courts, Your Honor. The landlord is lying. He's tried this trick with already. Whenever somebody files with code enforcement, the landlord then, that same month, refuses to take your rent. And then he goes into the courtroom and tells the judge that there are no bed bugs. We just don't want to get evicted. Yeah, they're frivolous claims. Yeah, his tenants are just acting frivolous because they're getting evicted. Meanwhile, it's the other way around. We were already filing with code enforcement before the landlord played this game with us. And it's causing us immense suffering and mental health issues. Upstairs was flipping out like crazy. He's still upset about it. He's still upset that Rochester allowed him to be slandered, allowed him to have a game played with him. I mean, they allow this landlord to lie under oath. Like, for instance, during the discovery, did I get anything? No. Did he complete? No. I completed it, but then they turn it around. Instead, when I go into the courtroom, the landlord's claiming that he gave everything to me and I gave nothing to him. Meanwhile, I'm like, are you kidding me? I printed out so much. I gave you so much. I even got a USB-C so I could transfer it to your phone. I even taught your lawyer buddy how to transfer it, and then we checked if it worked. I gave you guys everything. But I have received nothing yet. I have received nothing from you guys yet. Isaac has received nothing from Greystone of Maine, but yet Greystone of Maine has received everything from me. But yet in the courtroom, they don't care. Instead, they take the landlord's side and go, Zach, you need to complete the discovery. I did. We already did. I completed it. I want to redo it. Okay, then redo a discovery. I want another discovery so I can see what's up against me. And then the landlord goes, oh, no, I don't want it. What? But I thought you said you didn't see anything, Bob. No. I don't want another discovery. We don't got time for it. But I do. See, I do because I've seen nothing. I have seen nothing because the discovery, Zachary Newell is the one who didn't get what he was supposed to. He was supposed to get the documents. But instead, he got another big fucking game played with his head. Not only that, then the landlord took an 84-year-old, demanded that he stand up out of his chair to shake while talking to him. Then they played with David, asking him to stand on one leg type stuff. And what is that? What's wrong with your leg? Is it a prosthetic? And then they try to use fancy words. Then they smile and laugh at him. See, he doesn't understand what he's saying. See, David thinks he has a prosthetic. Ha, ha, ha. Now we know we can trick him under oath, because they were trying to see if they could trick David under oath, because David is senile, 84, and confused. He doesn't know the difference from having cancer removed in your leg and having it having a piece of your leg cut out of you versus a prosthetic. A prosthetic is when you have a fake leg. But see, David doesn't know what a prosthetic is, but he still answers the fucking question. The problem with David is he pretends. He pretends and he pretends. Same thing with the landlord. The landlord pretends and he pretends.